Smoke still rose from the ruins of the Zarn command ship. General Kazarn was dead. His body, broken under twisted steel, burned with the wreckage. Cole Brennan had walked away from that fire wounded, scarred, barely alive, but victorious. And across the ruined earth, something strange began to happen. Humans started to believe again. At a hidden bunker deep in the mountains, Cole lay on a makeshift bed, arm wrapped in bandages, ribs bruised, voice weak. The children he saved sat nearby. They stared at him like he was something from a story. A boy finally asked, "Are you a soldier?" Cole blinked slowly. "No, I'm just a man who had everything taken from him." The girl he met earlier looked down. "But you saved us." Day gave a tired smile. "You saved yourselves. I just opened the door." Outside the bunker, something bigger was happening. Word of Kazarn's death reached human survivors across the globe. People who had hidden in shadows began to step into the light. Scattered resistance groups contacted Cole's team. They sent messages. "Is it true? Did you really kill the Zarn general? We want to fight. We want to help." Cole's team, once just a few survivors, grew into something more. A movement, meanwhile. The Zarn Empire began to crack. On a warship above Earth, a new commander stood frozen. "General Kazarn is gone?" he asked, voice trembling. The officer nodded. "We found fragments of his armor." He was confirmed dead. The commander's claws tightened. By whose hand? One human, Cole Brennan. The commander's voice dropped to a growl. "One human, sir? He's not just one man anymore. He's the fire that lit the others." In a secret orbital relay station, hidden away from the Zarn, a group of escaped human scientists worked silently. When they received Cole's beacon signal, one of them, Dr. Hannah Rourke, stood up from her chair. "He's alive," she whispered. The others gathered. She turned to her team. "He's done the impossible. We can't stay hidden anymore. It's time." They activated the long-range comms. For the first time in 5 years, a secure signal reached Earth's surface. Cole heard it. "To the man who stood alone, we hear you. We're ready to return." Back in the field, Cole stood on a hilltop overlooking a ruined Zarn patrol base. His arms still in a sling, but his eyes clear. With him stood over 60 fighters humans who had once lost hope, now holding rifles, makeshift armor, and determination. They were rough, untrained, but they were willing. And Cole had something more powerful than orders. He had purpose. "Today," he said, speaking to the group, "we take that base." One man frowned. "They're stronger. They've got drones, towers, auto turrets." Cole nodded. "Good. Then they won't expect us to win." The battle began before sunrise. Smoke bombs, EMPs, flash, grenades. Cole's AI helped jam signals and confuse sensors. The fighters moved fast, just like Cole trained them, in 10 minutes. The base fell. Humans cheered. For the first time, they raised an old flag half-torn. It's faded red and blue, but it fluttered in the wind. It meant something again. A camera drone stolen from the Zarn hovered. Overhead, Cole stared into it and spoke directly. "This planet belongs to us. You came here thinking we'd break. We don't break. We burn." And that fire just became a rebellion. The message was broadcast across Zarn channels, accidentally leaked by their own tech, in dozens of sectors. Humans who saw it dropped their tools. Some attacked their guards. Some ran to join Cole's fighters. The Zarn commanders screamed for control. The tide had turned. On a moon outpost far from Earth, a small human colony picked up the message. A man in uniform watched the video twice. He stood, turned to his crew, and spoke just 5 words. "Prep the fleet. We're going home." Back in the bunker, Cole watched new faces arrive every day. Survivors, fighters, engineers, medics. They all came with the same story. "We thought it was over. Then we heard about you." He didn't care about fame, but he knew what it meant. Zarn had made a mistake. They didn't just fail to kill him. They created a symbol. A Legend. A monster in human form, one they couldn't understand. One who didn't fight for power or glory, but for vengeance. And that kind of fire spreads. Fire lit the horizon. Zarn watchtowers burned. Their drones lay shattered in the dirt. And their soldiers once feared now hid in fear. Cole Brennan stood in the middle of the storm. His armor was dented, his face marked with soot and blood. But his eyes, they were alive with fury. The rebellion had begun, and it was spreading fast at the mountain base. The old human bunker had become a war camp. Maps lined the walls, radios buzzed, new fighters trained in the yard, young, old, broken, brave. They all looked to one man, not a general, not a king, just a human with nothing left to lose. Cole moved through the camp with silent focus. His AI fed him updates. Eastern sector, 3 more outposts captured. Civilian population rising. Weapon production. Resumed status of Zarn command? Cole asked. The AI replied, unstable. New commander lacks loyalty. Elite units fractured. Cole nodded. Then now is the time to strike harder. That day, Cole led his largest assault yet. Target, a Zarn orbital uplink base. Controlled communications, drones, and strike systems. Destroying. It would silence half their global power. He brought 50 fighters. Not one of them was trained like a soldier, but every single one was ready to die for freedom. They hit the uplink at night. Cole's team used old sewer pipes to get close. The AI jammed drone signals. Then they exploded through the fence. Bullets, blades, smoke, screams. Cole moved like lightning. Every shot found a target. He threw a plasma charge at the tower's core. The base shook. Sparks flew. Above them, the sky lit up as the satellite link failed. Across the planet, Zarn machines blinked. Then shut down. Auto turrets stopped firing. Drones fell from the sky. A single message was broadcast on every open channel. This world is no longer yours. In orbit, the new Zarn commander hissed in rage. Who is this human? His advisors shook. They call him Cole Brennan. He fights without mercy. He leads without fear. Our soldiers, they speak of him like a ghost and make him disappear. The commander roared. But Cole wasn't hiding anymore. He had learned the enemy's language. He had studied their weapons. He had turned their own tech against them. Now, he was building something new, a fusion of human rage and alien precision. In the bunker, Cole met with the scientists who had returned from the space colonies. Dr. Hannah Rourke stood by a covered object. She pulled off the tarp. Underneath was a weapon, tall, sleek, sharp, human-built, Zarn-powered. They called it the Wrath Engine. What? Cole stared at it for a long time. What does it do? He asked. It levels cities, Hannah said softly. One launch, one target, nothing left standing. Cole was quiet. Then he whispered, build 2 more. As the rebellion grew, so did its legend. Cole became more than a man. To some, he was a myth. To others, a monster. The Zarn couldn't understand him. He didn't negotiate. He didn't surrender. He didn't stop. They once believed humans broke easily. Now they knew the truth. A human with nothing left to lose is the most dangerous enemy in the galaxy. One night, Cole stood outside the bunker. The wind was cold. He held a photo of his daughter. In his hands, he spoke quietly. We're close, I promise. Behind him, the AI said, we've located the central command vault. Deep beneath the Zarn capital in Sector 0. Cole turned. His voice was steady. Then we end this. He gathered his top fighters. This is the final push, he told them. We've won battles, but now we go for the heart. No one hesitated, not one in secret. The humans built their fleet, salvaged Zarn ships, old. Human prototypes, reinforced armor, alien weapons, and at the front of it, Cole's personal gunship, named after the only thing he had left. Sarah, his daughter's name. The rebellion was no longer a whisper. It was a scream, and it was heading straight for the Zarn home base. The world was dead. Skies were black with smoke. Cities were nothing but dust, fire, and broken stone. No birds flew. No voices called. Earth had fallen. And yet, one man walked through the silence. His name was Cole Brennan, once a soldier. Now, just a shadow among ruins. His armor was cracked. His face was burned. But his eyes still burned with something the Zarn Empire could not kill: pure human rage. They thought they wiped out everyone. They thought their war was over. But they missed one man. Cole had lost everything. His wife gone in the first wave, his daughter buried under rubble when the orbital strike came, his unit, his friends, all dead. The Zarn didn't just defeat Earth, they humiliated it. But Cole didn't care about pride anymore. He didn't care about orders, or medals, or treaties. He had nothing left to lose. And that made him more dangerous than ever. It had been 73 days since the last human broadcast. The Zarn declared Earth pacified. Their machines roamed freely. Patrol drones hunted any movement. Camps were full of the few survivors, weak, hopeless. But Cole wasn't in any camp. He was underground, hiding inside the hollow wreck of an old subway station. He had food for 2 more days, 1 plasma rifle, and a half-charged power cell.
Much,
but enough. That night, while the stars above stayed hidden behind ash clouds, Cole did something the Zarn never expected. He activated a stolen alien device. It was a Zarn tactical AI unit, damaged but not dead. He'd found it in the remains of a crashed enemy scout. It had a cracked core, sparks flicking off it like lightning bugs. He'd spent 5 days trying to fix it. Now, it blinked to life. Air identity mismatch. It buzzed in a cold digital voice. Unauthorized user. Human. Terminate Cole. Pressed a wire to the AI's core, forcing a pulse of human tech into it. No, he growled. You work for me now? The AI sparked again. Then it went quiet, then spoke. New directive accepted, awaiting instructions. Cole smiled, the first real smile in weeks. Good, he said. Let's kill your masters. 4. The next few days, Cole stayed hidden, listening to the AI feed him information. The Zarn called themselves superior, smarter, stronger, but they had patterns. They followed rules. Cole didn't. He planned his first strike carefully. A fuel convoy would pass through the city outskirts at dawn. Light guard. Predictable path. No reason for heavy defense. The Zarn believed the planet was secure. They were wrong. Cole used old Earth tunnels to move undetected. He planted explosives beneath the road's simple pressure bombs, timed with Zarn fuel transport codes. The AI helped him get the exact moment right. When the convoy rolled in, the Earth shook with fire. 4 enemy vehicles flipped into the sky. The 5th exploded in flames. From a rooftop, Cole watched it burn. He didn't cheer. He didn't speak. He just turned and walked away. He was already planning the next attack. Later that week, Cole found a group of survivors. They were sick, starving, barely able to move. He gave them food and told them what he did. At first, they didn't believe him. No one fights back anymore. One woman whispered. Cole handed her a piece of shrapnel from the blown convoy proof. Do, he said. From that day, the rumors began. There's a ghost in the ruins. He walks with fire in his eyes. The Zarn missed someone, and now he's hunting them. But Cole wasn't done, not even close. He returned to the old war bunkers buried beneath the mountains. Inside, he found a hidden cache of human tech-forgotten weapons, untested gear. The AI helped him unlock the security systems. He repaired what he could, modified what he couldn't. He even fused Zarn parts with human tools, creating hybrid gear the enemy would never expect. And when he stepped out of that bunker, he wasn't just a man anymore, he was a weapon. The Zarn started noticing. Unidentified attacker operating in Sector 9, fuel routes compromised. Communications tower destroyed. Reports came in. Drones failed to find him. Camps were attacked and survivors freed, and yet no one saw his face. Just shadows, just fire. At night, in the dark corners of the ruined earth, Cole sat by the flames, staring at a photo of his daughter. Her smile was still perfect, her eyes still alive in that image. He closed his eyes. "This is for you, baby," he whispered. "They'll pay for what they did." Far above the planet, aboard a Zarn command ship, General Kazarn received the first warning. "Sir, we may have a problem on Earth." Kazarn scoffed. "What problem?" The officer hesitated. "A human, sir. Just one." Kazarn laughed. "Then crush him." The officer replied, voice shaking, "We've tried. He keeps disappearing, and sir, he's learning." The smoke still hung in the air like a curse. Cole Brennan crouched behind, a burned-out tank, as the Zarn patrol passed overhead. Their hovercraft scanned the ruins with blue light. They were searching for him. Again, but they wouldn't find him. He had already moved, already planted the next charge. The blast from his last attack still echoed in the minds of the Zarn. The convoy had been wiped out. Their machines now traveled in pairs. He'd made them nervous. Good, that meant he was winning. Cole was becoming a ghost in the dust. He moved at night, struck hard, and vanished before the enemy could respond. The stolen Zarn AI in his helmet kept feeding him pattern-stroop locations. Drone signals, security weak spots. With it, he saw the war in a way no human ever had before, and now he had a new target. A processing center, a place where the Zarn kept human prisoners, forcing them to mine their own world for resources. The center wasn't just guarded, it was a fortress. But Cole didn't care. He wasn't there to fight a fair war. He was there to send a message. The plan was simple: distract, disable, and destroy. He started by planting signal jammers stolen from a patrol he'd ambushed. The devices made the Zarn cameras go dark. Then he slipped through the fence under the cover of smoke grenades. The guards didn't even see him coming. He was a shadow among metal walls. Inside, Cole crept through the halls, placing small explosives on support beams. One by one, he set his traps. Then he found the prisoner cells, humans starving, bruised, eyes full of fear. When Cole opened the door, they didn't move at first. They thought it was a trick. "Get up," he said quietly. "You're free." A little girl whispered, "Who are you?" Cole didn't answer, just handed her a ration bar and said, "Run, stay quiet. Follow the light strips." He had placed blinking lights on the floor to guide them out. Then he turned, rifle ready, and walked deeper into the base. Zarn guards spotted him near the generator core. One shouted. Cole answered with fire. 3 shots. 3 bodies. He ducked. Behind cover, reloaded, and tossed a plasma grenade into the control room. It lit the hallway like lightning, shaking the walls as he ran. Alarms blared behind him. But it was already too late. Boom, boom. The explosives on the support beams ignited one by one. The base cracked, shuddered, then collapsed inward like a dying beast from a nearby cliff. Cole watched it fall. Dust and fire rose into the sky. Behind him, the freed prisoners stood in silence. "Why did you do this?" One man asked. Cole didn't look back. "'Cause they took everything from me. I'm taking it all back." Word of the attack spread fast. The Zarn High Council received reports from the field. Another outpost lost. Human prisoners missing. Unknown saboteur responsible. Some commanders called it a virus in their network. Others called it human resistance. One general spoke the truth. "No, this is the work of a single man. He's not just surviving, he's hunting us." They gave him a name in their language, Carnval, which meant the fire in the dust. Meanwhile, Cole returned to the mountain bunker. He had company now 10 survivors from the prison camp. Some were wounded, some just scared. None of them had ever fought before. Cole handed them weapons anyway. "You want to live?" he asked. "Then learn to fight." They trained under him, shot at targets, learned how to move without being seen. The AI guided them too, using Zarn tactics against their creators. They were no longer victims. They were soldiers. One night, Cole stared at the old photo of his family again. He remembered the way his daughter laughed, the way she ran into his arms when he came home from duty. Now there was no home, no laughter, only war. But maybe if he kept fighting, no other child would die like his did. The others saw the fire in his eyes. They didn't see a broken man anymore. They saw a leader above Earth. General Kazarn stood before the war table. The red dot on the map blinked over and over again. "Erase it," the officer said slowly. "We've sent drones, troops, none returned." Kazarn growled. "Then send the hounds and burn everything." Back in the bunker, Cole heard the AI speak in his ear. "New enemy deployment detected. 12 hunter units. Air support. Lockdown coming." Cole loaded his rifle. "Good," he said. "Let them come." He stood tall, dust clinging to his armor, eyes full of war. "They started this," he whispered. I'll be the one who ends it." The night sky burned red. Cole Brennan stood on a cliff, watching the enemy move. 12 Zarn hunter drones zipped across the ruined landscape, scanning, searching, hunting, but not finding. He had already moved again. The AI in Cole's helmet spoke. "Quietly, they are adapting. Using thermal scans." Search radius expanded. Cole didn't blink. Good. Let them waste their time. He knelt and pulled out a map hand-drawn, marked with circles and red lines. It was an old sewer layout beneath Sector 7, forgotten by the Zarn, but not by Cole. "They're flooding above ground," he whispered. "So I'll strike from below." That night, Cole and 3 of his new fighters crawled through the sewer's mud. Rot and silence pressing against them. The AI fed updates through the helmet. "Drone 6 above you, 10 meters. Holding position." Cole waited. He could hear the hum through the concrete. Then, silence. Clear. The AI confirmed. They moved again. Their target was a supply depot filled with energy cells, weapons, food. It was key to the Zarn's control in this zone. Cole didn't want to steal it. He wanted to erase it as they reached. The access grate, Cole gave orders in a low voice. "Anna plant charges on the north wall. Deke, cover the rear tunnel. Jay, set the remote detonator. You've trained for this. Trust your hands." They nodded, nervous, but ready. Cole climbed, up, peeked through the great tand, saw them. Zarn workers, guards, machines refueling. He took a breath. This wasn't war anymore. It was justice. He rose, rifle ready, and fired the first shot. Panic hit the depot like a storm. Zarn guards shouted. Red lights flashed. But they didn't know where the attack came from. Cole moved fast. He gunned. Down to guards, rolled behind crates, and waved his team forward. "Now," he shouted. Boom. The first charge tore open a fuel line. Flames roared up the wall. Deke fired down the tunnel as drones dropped from above. Jay activated the detonator. Boom. The whole eastern wall collapsed. From outside the zone, survivors heard the explosion and looked up to see the sky light up like lightning. Smoke towered into the clouds. The depot was gone, and Cole was already running. Back at the mountain bunker, Cole checked the AI's data. Enemy losses, 42 units. Fuel depot destroyed. Panic spreading. Cole nodded. Then they're starting to feel what we felt. He walked into the training hall where his fighters were resting. They looked up. We're no longer civilians. Not anymore. You did good, Cole said. But this is just the beginning. Later that night, as the others slept, Cole sat alone with an old data chip. It was cracked, burned on one edge, but still worked. He played it. A video his daughter, laughing as she chased a ball across their backyard. His wife smiling, calling them in for dinner. Then static. Then silence. He stared at the screen, jaw clenched. His hand shook, but only for a second. Your death won't be forgotten, he whispered. They will remember your name. Up in orbit, General Kazarn reviewed the latest report. His expression darkened. Another attack. Another Zarn structure lost. His commanders were nervous. Their voices trembled when they spoke of the human ghost. Kazarn growled. You let one broken man destroy supply lines, take prisoners, and shut down our sector. One officer bowed low. It's more than a man now. He's a symbol. Kazarn slammed his clawed fist into the table. He is a disease. I will erase him myself. Cole didn't care about symbols. He only cared about the next name. The AI had finally broken into a higher-level Zarn database. And inside was something he hadn't expected. Personal logs from General Kazarn. It was Kazarn who gave the command to burn Cole's city. Kazarn, who ordered orbital strikes on civilian zones. Kazarn, who laughed as Earth fell. Cole stared at the image. Of the alien's face, cold, arrogant, he memorized every line. This is the one, he whispered. The AI responded. Coordinates found. Kazarn's command vessel is currently stationed above Sector 14. Cole grinned. Good. It's time he heard my name. The next morning, Cole left the bunker alone. His team begged to go with him. He shook his head. Not this time. Have to. Do this myself. He carried only his rifle, a blade, a satchel of explosives, and a clear goal. Find the alien who killed his family and end him in the ruined streets of Earth. Zarn patrols moved carefully now. Their drones flew slower. Their scans wider, and yet none of them saw. The man walking straight into their territory. The man with a fire in his eyes. The man who would make the stars echo with vengeance. The wind howled through the ruins. Cole Brennan walked alone, hood pulled low, dust covering his. Armor like ash. In one hand he carried a rifle. On his back explosives. Stolen Zarn tech. Something more dangerous than all of it. A name burned into his soul. General Kazarn. The alien who killed his family. The one who gave the order that turned cities to glass. Cole had watched the video, seen the alien's cold eyes, heard the laughter as Earth burned. Now Cole had a message to deliver. The AI in his helmet spoke. Kazarn's personal warship is still grounded at Sector 14. Defensive shield active. Elite guards present. Cole didn't pause. Not. Asking for easy. He reached the edge of the enemy camp by dawn. Tall black spires pierced the sky Zarn, buildings pulsing with blue light. Drones hovered in layers, scanning every angle. Soldiers moved in patrol squads, fast and armed. But Cole didn't slow. He circled behind the outer fence, crawled through sewage vents, and emerged beneath the landing platform. He looked up. There it was, Kazarn's ship, sleek, black. Watching, the broken world from above, Cole checked his gear. The blade on his hip, the plasma detonators, the modified pulse rifle with human Zarn fusion, most of all, his anger. He moved like a shadow, took down one guard, quiet blade through the neck. Then another. Then three. He reached the ship's landing gear and placed the first explosive. Charge set. The AI whispered. He moved again, planting more. Along the structure, but something caught his attention. A prison cell, small, metal, glowing with force fields. Inside, children, human children, trapped, scared. Silent Cole froze, his breath hitched. He saw his daughter in their eyes. The plan changed. AI. He said quietly, reroute priority. Free the kids, then kill the monster. Understood. Cole hacked the control panel with a stolen Zarn chip. Sparks flew. The force fields dropped. The kids flinched. One stepped forward. A girl, maybe 9. Who are you? She asked Cole. Knelt. Someone who used to be a father. Handed her a locator beacon. Follow the blinking lights. You'll find people like you. Humans. Free ones. What about you? She whispered. He smiled just a little. I'm going to make sure they never hurt anyone again. The escape triggered alarms. Lights flashed. Sirens howled. The Zarn guards came running. Cole stood tall in the middle of the courtyard. Alone. They shouted. A dozen of them. Cole raised. His rifle war began again. He moved like lightning. Every shot counted. Boom, one down. Crack, another drone dropped from the sky. They swarmed him. But he ducked, slid, fired, stabbed. A plasma bolt hit his shoulder. He grunted but kept fighting. Another slammed into his leg. He fell, then rolled and fired from the ground. Bodies piled around him, but he didn't stop. He couldn't. The ship's ramp opened. Out walked General Kazarn, tall, covered in armor, cold eyes. No fear. You are the one they whisper about, Kazarn said, voice like ice. The ghost, the animal. Cole stood slowly, bleeding, shaking, but alive. No, he said. I'm the result of your mistake. Kazarn tilted his head. You think this is justice? No, Cole whispered. This is revenge. They charged. Cole's blade met alien steel, sparks flew. Kazarn was strong, faster than any human, but Cole was angry, and he fought with nothing to lose. They clashed again and again. Blood flying, metal clanging. Cole took a deep wound across his ribs. Kazarn staggered from a knife in the side. Finally, Cole grabbed Kazarn by the armor and slammed him into the wall. He raised his knife. Kazarn laughed. Even if you kill me, your world is still gone. Cole leaned close. Then you're coming with it. He pressed the detonator. Explosions ripped through the ship's landing gear. The entire structure groaned, cracked, then collapsed in fire. Cole fell with it. Hours later, rubble smoked under the morning sun. A hand burst from the wreckage. Cole wounded. Burned but alive. He crawled free, dragging himself toward the trees in the distance. Human survivors rushed to him. You did it, someone whispered. Kazarn is dead. Cole didn't speak. He just stared at the sky. And for the first time in years, it looked like hope. In deep space, near the orbit of Earth, stars were no longer quiet. They rumbled. The human fleet had risen 30 ships. Some rebuilt from scrap, some taken from the Zarn. Others were Earth prototypes thought lost or useless. But now, they moved together like wolves ready to strike, and leading them. At the front flew a black gunship marked with one word burned into its hull, SARAH. Cole Brennan stood on the bridge. His armor was battle-worn but reinforced with alien plating. His eyes never blinked as he stared at the glowing planet ahead, Sector 0, the heart of the Zarn Empire. It was time, not for survival, not for revenge, but for the fall of the ones who thought humans were weak. Back on Earth, resistance fighters launched final strikes against Zarn ground bases. Smoke filled the skies. Prison camps burned, freed by the same people once trapped inside them, and everywhere. The same message echoed through old radios and hijacked drones. We are no longer afraid. We are no longer few. This is humanity's planet. We are taking it back. High in orbit, panic filled the Zarn command center. The new Supreme Strategist stared at the screen, watching the human fleet approach like a wave of fire. Where did they get this many ships? He shouted. Sir, an officer replied, trembling. We underestimated their capacity for adaptation and hate. The strategist slammed the table. Then we burned them. All of them. But inside, even he felt it. Fear, something the Zarn hadn't known in centuries. Cole's fleet moved in tight formation. The AI inside his helmet updated him. Defensive grid ahead. Automated turrets armed. 3 enemy destroyers approaching. Cole nodded once. We go through them. The battle began like thunder. Laser fire lit the void. Zarn. Ships launched plasma storms and gravity mines. But the humans didn't flinch. They wove between death, fired with precision. Every strike from Cole's ship was exact, deliberate, full of purpose. He wasn't just attacking. He was leading a storm inside the human fleet. Other captains repeated one name to their crews. Cole Brennan. Follow him. Fight like him. End this like he would. One of the human dreadnoughts, a rebuilt mining ship, rammed a Zarn cruiser, splitting it in two. Another ship used a stealth module to sneak behind the enemy line, planting explosive charges that tore through their engines. The Zarn were fast. They were powerful, but they were predictable. Humans weren't. They were chaos wrapped in bone and steel. Meanwhile, Cole's gunship broke through the front line. Sector 0 vault identified, the AI announced. Underground shielded. We must breach the planetary barrier. Cole's eyes narrowed. Then we drop from orbit. As the gunship entered the atmosphere, Zarn towers lit up, firing beams of burning light. The ship shook violently. Cole didn't react, even as flames licked the hull. Even as alarms screamed, he stood steady. We finish this, he growled. We end it now. The ship crashed hard near the capital-structured massive black towers. Wrapped in cables and fire, Cole stepped out into the smoke. Followed by 12 of his best fighters. They were bruised, tired, and low on ammo, but they moved with purpose. Every step they took made the ground shake, not because of their weight, but because of what they represented inside the vault. The last of the Zarn. High Command prepared their escape. They never made it. Cole and his team stormed the halls. Alien guards fell one after another. Blades, bullets, bare hands. Nothing was. Off the table, by the time they reached the control room, lights were flickering and the floor was soaked in blood. The Zarn leader stood trembling, backed into a corner. You're not a man, he whispered. Cole stepped closer. You're right, he said coldly. I'm what you made me. He raised his rifle. One shot, silence outside. The human fleet cheered as the Zarn signals went dark. One by one, enemy ships stopped firing. Some surrendered, others ran, and some exploded, too proud to admit they had been defeated. Across the planet, people cried. They hugged strangers. They raised their fists. They lit fires not of destruction, but of celebration. The Zarn Empire had fallen, and the name spoken across every rooftop, every field, every broken street was Cole Brennan. But Cole didn't wait for applause. He walked outside the vault, smoke curling behind him, and looked up at the stars. The AI spoke in his ear. Victory confirmed. Earth is free. Cole didn't smile. He just whispered, then we've only got one thing left to do. The war was over. But Cole Brennan wasn't done. Not yet. He stood alone at the top of a broken Zarn tower, his silhouette sharp against a rising sun. Earth was quiet now, silent from fear, but silent with peace. Smoke still floated over the cities. Craters still marked the land. But this time it wasn't ruin. It was rebirth. Down below, people celebrated. Children ran through the dirt without chains. Flags were raised. Families reunited. And on every wall, drawn in chalk or scratched into stone, one name remained. Cole. The man who lost everything. The man who gave everything. The man who made the galaxy. Remember what a human could become when he had nothing left to fear? Inside the command vault, Dr. Hannah Rourke and her team sorted through captured Zarn tech. Some of these files, she whispered, they're maps. Other worlds, entire colonies, places where humans were taken. Cole listened from the doorway. How many? He asked. Hundreds, she replied. Maybe thousands. Cole's hands tightened, then were not finished. He walked through the old human bunker one last time. It had changed. What once was a tomb of the past was now a cradle of something new, a force that could protect, not just fight. People stopped when they saw him. Some saluted. Others stared like he was a ghost, a legend. But Cole never acted like a hero. He just kept moving forward, the AI in his helmet reported. New fleet status, 17 ships ready, remaining Zarn vessels captured. Resistance movements across the colonies requesting support. Cole stepped into the war room. I want all data uploaded. Every prisoner camp location, every Zarn base still standing. I want the galaxy to know. He paused and then finished. Humanity doesn't run. Humanity returns. The newly freed Earth was no longer alone. Signals poured in from space from Mars. IT in Europa, distant colonies once thought lost. We heard your fight. We saw your flame. We are ready to rise. Cole stood aboard Sarah, his black gunship, now fully restored. He looked at the crew, humans from every background. Soldiers, scientists, survivors. They didn't need speeches, just A direction Cole gave it. Set course for the nearest slave colony. We bring them home. The ship launched into the sky, leaving behind a world still healing but free. As Sarah broke through the clouds, 1,000 people stood on hills, rooftops, and mountains, watching the man who had once walked alone now lead an entire species far across the stars. Alien empires trembled. They had heard the stories of a man who survived the end, of his world, of a warrior who killed an empire with rage in his chest and fire in his fists, of a ghost who came back from the grave not to be remembered, to rewrite the future. And they whispered his name like a warning. Cole Brennan, the man with nothing left, the man who became everything. But Cole didn't care about names. He didn't want statues. He didn't want songs. All he wanted was to keep a promise, one he made to a little girl in a photo, smiling forever in his memory. You won't be forgotten.
Wow.
I will make sure they never take another child again. Da-da-da-da-da. And as the ship jumped into hyperspace, chasing the next battle, the next mission, the next soul to save, the galaxy finally understood one terrible truth. You can conquer a world. You can erase a people, but you should never, ever fight a human who has nothing left to lose.